Have you ever looked at the Second World War? A soul-crushing conflict responsible for tens of millions of deaths, unimaginable human misery, and total geopolitical collapse. And thought to yourself, man, this would be so much better if it was done by magical pastel ponies. Neither have I. But someone made it anyway. And against all medical advice, I played it. Oh, we are losing the air battle. I wonder f***ing why. Ja mein Gott, ist das verdammte Schwan? Willst mich verarschen? 3,200 planes on air. 3,200. Welcome to Equestria at War. The only mod where you can commit unspeakable war crimes, suffer a mental breakdown and lose a war to Twilight Sparkle. Let's dive in. Wow, you can already see a lot of thought and work is done on this mod, just from the main menu. This is a perfect example of how look define our perceptions of people, and horses in this case. When I look at this guy, for example, all I see is just a cute little pony with a mustache. But he probably displaces kids and then bombs them on their way. I'm not going to glaze this mod, this is not my point, but look at this map and the work done on it. You can also see the resemblance to the real world, which makes things easier to pick. You can see Europe, the Americas, and then the rest of the world. Basically the third world nations are down here. They even have Carthage with its own focus tree and everything. Creating a script, a focus tree, writing all those lore is relatively easy if you have time. However, the art, the actual in-game changes and the map is something to put more time in it. And when I talked to this amazing dev named Connoisseur, apparently everything is done voluntarily. That is pretty cool and hats off to that. And when I asked why would you guys do this for free, this is insane amount of work and amazing outcome, the answer was simple. Autism. Anyway, thanks to this amazing dev Connoisseur, I got to know more of this mode and he helped me pick a nation. As a matter of fact, he helped me with a lot of things, even during the gameplay. So, thank you so much for your help, Connoisseur. When I asked what is the most cursed, hard to play and purely evil nation, he pointed out a few, and after I did my own research, I came up with the Adelart. Apparently, we are a rogue nation ruled by thieves and bandits and slavers. Maybe not that bad, looking how cute our leader is, you know, his name is literally Murloc Wood. If you don't live in a cave, you should know who Murloc Wood is supposed to be. My only problem with this mod, which shouldn't be a problem, but is that there is too much to read. So I will try to summarize what the texts are, and if you want to read them, please just pause the video, or even better, go play the mod yourselves to understand the lore behind it more. Because, as you may have guessed, I'm not here to read, I am here to kill, plunder, and conquer. And if I knew how to read, I would be a scientist, not an engineer. Adelart is a nation stuck in between Greifwald, Aquileia, and Griffonian Empire. We are ethnically Griffins, which are those flying horses with claws things, and were ruled by a sheriff who was under the payroll of Greifwald. I'm already making a lot of mistakes and most of you are angrily yelling at your screen, but please, this was my first time. And for reference, you'll hear me call the Griffonian Empire the Gryffindor, Greifwald, I'll call them Greifwald, and lastly Aquileia, I'll call them Aquamen. Adelart focus tree is amazing looking and it is pretty colorful too. I love their design and their work. However, we will be pretending like we never seen any of these focuses, mainly because we won't be using them. Yes, although the focus tree itself is giant, there is actually more to it. A hidden focus tree that will give us an amazing story. In order to understand this nation though, we need to dive into the lore behind it. As I mentioned before, we are a bandit-like nation that had came out of an independence war and got into hiding into our forest, separated from our neighbor Greifwald. Before revolutionary independence, we were ruled by a sheriff. This guy held absolute power over the people of Adelart. When the revolution came, he had to run away and hide. Now, after 20 years, we are ruled by Robin Hood, and there are many internal conflicts. People who support centralized government to seize banditry or to control it, the outlaws want more independence and freedom to act at will, and so forth. Amongst all that fuss and chaos, one person is about to make a great reappearance. He's the sheriff, waiting for the right moment to strike. And today, we're going to bring the sheriff back to his rightful land. This handsome looking fella, Murloc Wood, had done nothing wrong. But he will face a terrible fate. This 20 days of celebration of our independence will be his last celebration. Okay, let's check our units now. Oh wow, they have... Oh my god, they even have a 3D model! Look at that cutie! So we have 12 with infantry divisions. I think this will be our main division. We have the bandit armies, which I believe to be less demanding and less giving. Kind of like skirmish infantry actually. And then we have the partisan divisions. I think they are also skirmish infantry. Let's check the generals real quick. Murloc Wood, of course. I mean, they are not totally useless, looking pretty good actually, and they all have a special cute picture of themselves. The research tab is very well made, almost a parallel to the vanilla game. Apart from the few additions like the magical units and special tab for Gryffindor tech, it serves almost the same purpose. I like it better, helps with the learning curve honestly. Konizer actually warned me that an early war may happen, so I will try to set aside a research slot for early infantry improvement. And with the remaining 2 slots, I'll be researching industry tech because we are here to stay and, you know, free these lands. Robin was chilling at a bar, drinking his stolen beer. Suddenly, he heard some people talking about politics and things got heated. Robin was startled. Do I have to babysit everyone? He told himself. He was stuck at a boring job of managing Congress, where every idea ended up in an endless loop of petition. Then, a very shady-looking handsome pony came trying to persuade Robin with gold. A guy who had a big nose and a lot of gold. One of these options will lead me to outlaw economy, which is the correct path for me to bring the sheriff back. I think it is if I accept this offer. It sounds like an outlaw. Oh no, I messed up. He sounded so shady, I thought he was the outlaw. If you didn't understand what happened there, let me explain it better. In order to get the sheriff, I need to complete 3 focuses and avoid 1 specific focus at all costs. I need to pass the outlaw economy, advance the revolution, and finally suspend their privileges, all while avoiding growl for loans. So let's try this again. Leave me alone, mate, my days are counted anyway. And let's get the outlaw economy. Apart from the sheriff, we also had a count. Think of it like a constitutional monarchy where the sheriff holds all the power and the count is just a symbol. And the count just leaves, not the nation, but his dear friend the sheriff. He escapes before things get Bolshevikis, and his family, including the babies, are murdered in a very terrible way. Speaking of Bolshevikis, a possibly funny mustache and bearded man named Dessous comes and tries to convince Robin to have more centralized government with much less liberties. And of course, I think we have to accept this, considering communism is a centralized capitalism. And now, we advance the revolution, meaning we kill everyone who opposes us in the name of freedom, liberty, and shared funds of those ones we kill. Definitely not genocide and plunder of those who oppose us. Putting names to faces. What a title for such a revolution. Basically, the sheriff is updated on what's going on in Adelart. While Robin was eating, an old friend of him comes across and tries to convince him by using religion. Yes, by using religion that Robin sides with the Gryffindor. At least that's what I think what he tries, but we just refuse him because we are revolutionists. And now we suspend the privileges of the church. That'll teach him a good lesson not to preach everyone everywhere. This is just a Wattpad story, I'm sorry. Basically the sheriff is sending messages to his remaining loyal friends or something. We have finished the lore focuses required to bring the sheriff back. Now we will just fill the armory a bit and wait for events to unfold. Okay, I think that's the early war my friend was talking about, so Greifwald is going to attack us, and this gives us few forts. Okay, cool, I think we can take them down honestly. I'm going to switch my units to a normal infantry template. We'll keep the last one same for now, because we haven't got enough guns yet. Let's also put some new troops in training. Well, we'll get the guns one way or another before the war. We also have a decision to conduct raids on our neighbors. I mean, we are ruled by Robin Hood, a literal terrorist who ambushes innocent traders and steal their loot. Okay, we're ready, let's try this looting thing. I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect them to melt my units that easy. Okay, let's never do that again. Let's see what we're missing. Pony power. Let's get some advisors so we can fix the pony power and recruitable factor. The head of the snake, the sheriff. He makes a surprise appearance and this time it will be much different than before. Sheriff de Notemagny. Our beloved sheriff makes one last appearance after 20 years. He sends a radio message back to Adelart, hoping to gain some inside help. We will not raise an army to chase him down, we will just simply hope that the local bandits will do their work. Or will they? And a surprise to Robin, the local bandits failed to stop the sheriff as he stood right there in front of him. He came back in a fancy looking suit, very confident of himself that nobody was going to oppose him. His confidence proved him right, as he was immediately granted the title of Sheriff of Adelart. There he is, oh wait a minute, there he is, the Sheriff of Adelart. And our new focus tree. It is not as big as I hoped it would, but when I talked to my developer friend, he told me that this focus tree actually holds more, if not equal to any other focus trees, so we will just roll with it. And of course, if the sheriff is back after 20 years of exile, he won't be back nice. He will crack down on the traitors and those who oppose us. Oh wow. Must have been lonely for this beautiful general who only minds his own business apparently. He's the only one alive from the previous management. Oh my god, the name of my sex type, literally. We've got amazing focuses here, lads. We are simply declaring everyone is a bandit except for us. Well, technically speaking, we are a bandit nation, but no, the anarchists are bandit, the church are bandit, and my favorite, the libtards are bandit. Here's a problem I am suffering. I think the loot mechanic is broken, or it's just disabled now, because I can only prepare raids and I cannot execute them. Speaking of raids, as the sheriff, I've created a special unit to raid homes, sacred places of liberals and just hunt them down, you know, take them in or simply just execute. I'm not sure what to call this unit actually. It's a complicated endeavor. No dynasty, sect, religion, color of wings are safe from it's a complicated endeavor. Not even our own church. There is only one true power and ruler on these lands, and it is called the sheriff for a reason. Now we took out every bandit in our land, which means someone has to fill in that spot. But this is actually a good focus because it will remove all of our debuffs. And yes, this part of the decision is not working anymore. I was saving to get a free arms factory, but I guess we won't be having any, unfortunately. Sad moment. A proposal from Slovenia. Surprising visitors arrived. They will help with our oil drilling and get a portion out of the extraction. Oh my god, look at that image. Look at that nose. It just tells everything you need to know about Slovenia. And I know it's a beach, but please check the scenario. A small city town of people who are only doing trades and getting protection in return. Sounds awfully familiar. How long before they get rich enough to claim my oil and home as theirs? Anyway, of course I will accept. I am just a little bird with claws. Okay, so if I go down the center, it will put me in direct war with Greifwald, which means I should be ready to face them. They haven't got enough men to defend against me, so I shall be good. I was ready for them to attack me, but I guess we will take the fight to them. Also, the sheriff brought in insanely good men and generals, which are basically thugs, or his goons, so we will just make sure to utilize them. A festival of a religious site? Didn't I already close down everything that is not praising me? Are you that naive to think that I'll let this happen? Get the hell out of here! Kill everyone and burn down the effigies. Let's finish up our infantry divisions. I mean, we are missing a bit of equipment, but it should be an easy war. Alright, they are not pushing. Oh boy, they're just too weak. Let's go, lads. Time to take back what's ours. Already massive gaps on their fronts, which means it's time to encircle. Goodbye, Greifwald. Never liked your color anyway. Okay, perfect. We didn't even struggle with this war and we are ready to rebuild. We are slowly growing, lads. The sheriff is doing a good job after all. I need some space filler armies, some cheap units without artillery. I think the bandit armies are the best match for that, so let's spam out some of them to, just to fill the fronts, since we have manpower or pony power. Fiction of rights. We are slowly becoming a real democracy. The sheriff, with all of his fury, decided to gather everyone inside town halls and then lock the doors from outside and just burn it. Remember the cunt? No, not Count Dracula, the one that ran away. Wait, actually Dracula also ran away like a puss. We have a chance to invite our count back, as a symbol of course, but it will still boost the morale of the people and give us more legitimacy. And we get in touch with him, trying to convince him to come back to all the royal shenanigans. Although he's dragging his feet, the sheriff is a smooth... Sorry, I got carried away. What I was trying to say is that the sheriff is a smooth operator. Our neighbor, Republic of Griffin people, hold a lot of oil. I believe that oil should belong to me. And I did hear that they may be a week's reach of weapon-grade uranium. And then one day, the sheriff gathered everyone in the chamber, every bandit, every thug, every mercenary. He delivered one solid speech. He simply said, "You will either join the standing army, or you will leave the nation. And if you do not comply, you will leave this earth." I love the concept of ponies and zebras and flying horses being in a war zone, but we just got given the equipment of planes, which makes you wonder how the logistic of a horse inside of a cockpit works. Oh, and we got this cool-ass commander with an amazing Tinder profile picture. We can produce planes, we are even given free planes. The problem is we haven't got any airports. Yes, I didn't build any airports because our industry is busy building factories. It would be cool for the Focus to give us one tiny airport so we can actually use these planes. As I was preparing to launch an invasion to the possible nuke holders, I was reminded why my friend warned me of an early war. Wait a minute, who's justifying on us? The Aquamen? Why are they justifying on us? Let's pull all our troops back in this front and see how well they will do. We've got plenty of troops for defense, so we should be fine actually. The Scholar's requests. Guys, do you think this is a good timing for a request? Yeah, sure, go ahead and do your research or whatever. Yep, we're getting melted. Oh, looks like they're fighting my neighbors too, meaning we will get encircled. I mean, we are holding for now, perhaps we can even push. Boah, I need more men on the front. They've got plenty of troops down there. Oh no, they did push. Yup, we're done for. No way we'll hold out. We're losing men so fast. Unfortunately, my early save is pretty far back, but this also gives me an opportunity to grow and not waste more men. They have open fronts, so we will just avoid their troops altogether. Oh, and by the way, I may have forgotten to mention, but after we take down the Greifwald, we literally claim their name and land as ours. In other words, this land was promised to us 5 times. I'll just push more defensive troops rather than, attacking troops. After they exhaust their manpower, I'll just start pushing. And if I could take the Republic to the east faster, I'll get more manpower to defend. That is, of course, if I lose less manpower during the fight with the Republic on my east. It is an easy war, thankfully. Should be safe to assume that will be beneficial. And now, instead of defending the front, I'll just create a defensive line back here, because they will take out my neighbors anyway. I think this is the best line with the least men required, and it's forest, hills, etc. I will end the line at the border of this state. I don't need the state as it holds very little industries, and forests are much easier to defend. We did lose a few tiles here and there, but overall we're doing fine so far. Okay, I take it back. Broken arrow, broken arrow! God, we're running out of manpower so easily in this game. Boy, I wish I could use these raiding decisions. I don't think it would change the game too much, not blaming it on the raids, but it seems like such a cool mechanic. This time, I talked to my dev friend and I asked him why it's so hard to defend against the Aquamen. Apparently, there's a focus which makes the Gryffindor guarantee our independence. So, my plan was to border the Gryffindor, then get guaranteed by them, and then let them do the fighting while I sit back and drink my tea. So it should be this focus that gives us guarantee by the Gryffindor. We just need 50 days, but that shouldn't be a problem. This time I felt confident. I was going to get the whole empire behind my back and then take down the Aquaman. There it is, we are now guaranteed by the strongest nation on the continent. Great news indeed. I had better technology, better men, and most importantly, a whole empire supporting me. This has got to be a joke, right? They joined the war, no doubt, but they don't send troops because they don't border the Aquamen, and I can't give them even military access. What's the point of having them as a protectorate if they cannot defend our land? I think we just got some ultras instead of soldiers. They're just clapping and yelling across the border, giving us their support. And of course, needless to say, that was another fail. Yep, the front is broken and we ran out of men again. I tried one more time with all my concentration, where I didn't waste any manpower in any senseless war. Okay, good, we've got ourselves an encirclement. And I was actually doing pretty well for a time. The casualty rate tells everything you need to know about this war. Somehow they have unlimited supply of men, whilst I'll struggle to bring anyone out to fight. But the lack of manpower and supplies broke the lines again. Yeah, it's not happening. They're impossible to kill and have unlimited amounts of manpower and supplies. I mean, what more could I do here? I've killed 3 times more and almost no dime, like nothing happened. I decided to take a few steps back and build an even stronger foundation. Okay, what we're going to do is that we're not going to rush to get the sheriff and give ourselves a few more boosts from the initial focus tree. We'll also start the production of support equipment and artillery way earlier, so we can give our units engineers for the entrenchment and artillery. Well, it's artillery. You don't need a real reason to have artillery, you know. We are not going to waste any lives on this war, so I will just take the victory points and call it a day. Let's also try to fortify the choke points, or the whole front actually. Let's do it. This is already looking much better. We have more units, better defenses, better equipment, and a great will. And then, the time had finally come. Alright, here we go. We are doing much better this time. Actually, we are able to push as well. If I take this tile, supply to the Northern Army is cut off. Okay, this is much easier. I spent too much time contemplating, Jesus Christ. I think this is it, honestly. They've taken too much damage to recover. The death toll is the best data of this whole war, and yes, they still have enough manpower to fill their fronts. Finally it is over. Jesus, that took a long time. Oh brother, you have the audacity to ask for land? Well, I mean, that's probably normal for you guys. Finally the big war is over, and now we just have to settle down a bit and build up our industry to match our new adversary, the School of Gryffindor. Actually, I don't like the idea that Irish are existing here. They are named Erie, so I assume they are Irish. And I wouldn't want the sheriff's car to be blown on a quiet Sunday morning, so I will just justify on them before they get guaranteed. Besides, one justification gives us 3 free lands. I mean, how cool is that? I also created some airplanes with the technology I had, but don't worry. Later, I changed these designs. They're just placeholders. City of Flowers. You have no idea how much joy I get from justifying on you. Okay, so apparently the City of Flowers is a giant fortress and we are unable to penetrate it. I'm not surprised, honestly, given that for some reason our army is always the weakest in our confrontations. Well, in that case, we're just going to clear out the rest of the nations and then come back to the flowers. I don't want to talk about this war ever again. Thank God the AI is just dumb enough to leave the safe fortress. Finally, we've got some clean borders. There's a lot of space for improvement as well. Pillage bank walls? Oh, okay, that's a decision. Wow. I don't really want to do it, but are the flowers just twice? I thought they were someone else that's, shall remain nameless. After everything settled down and we won the wars, the sheriff had a drink in a dark, empty throne room with his pals, finally achieving his dreams. Well, part of it. And it was time. Finally the Aquamen had a true leader, the High Sheriff of Aqualia. This is an amazing focus. It is so funny that I can't make the jokes I want to hear because I wouldn't get banned, but I would probably be found blown up with a suicide note in Hebrew. What we're doing is basically getting a bunch of historians to do research on the history of Aquamen, then finding that one small event in that history to tie it to our history. And now we get to claim all this land and its history. Simply lovely. I can't talk. I shouldn't, but it's amazing work. I think our count is now known as the King of Aqualia or something. Simply amazing. What is this? Business with Skyfall that gives us buffs but requires free trade. Where's Skyfall? I could honestly switch to free trade, but I'm so sure that that will ruin my economy. However, I'll just do it for the sake of clicking shiny buttons. I ruined my economy, but at least we're trading with the Skyfall. Amazing movie, by the way, amazing song too. I think for the upcoming wars I will have a motorized unit for breakthrough and an infantry unit for simple defense. The coming wars shouldn't be that hard honestly, since now I have this amazing industry. Mild renovation, meaning we are doing small changes on the historical and cultural sites so we can progress our claims of cultural heritage. We can secure the Skyfall ports. Oh wow! Then we will be doing the real trade, and it is the last remaining nation between us and the Empire, so it should be a nice little addition to our nation. Oh wow, really easy war actually. And they have a giant navy, which will be very useful to us. The Gryffindor at war with the Gryffindor. I should just attack now and take Gryffindor down, but then again I don't feel that ready. But I will feel ready when I have my deadly horses out. Actually I can't even join because the focus has a date attached to it. Well, perhaps I will just build them. And I started preparing by doing research, building and constructing. My air plan is just to spam out good fighters and get costs, nothing too fancy honestly. As long as I win the dominance, my ground units will melt them anyway, or should melt them, but then again, for some reason, every enemy of mine has had some insane manpower and equipment. I'll just employ a couple of hundreds of thousands of people for the fronts, no big deal. My units are actually pretty good, they have high defense, much more than enough piercing for their tanks and a good combination of soft attack and breakthrough. Our planes are also pretty good and we are upgrading them slowly. Currently these should slime the enemy air force. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's save the game in case we fumble and then let's go with the focus. This focus will not give us a claim, but it will put us in direct war. Okay, here we go. And to my surprise, all I saw were red. Okay, hold on. What the hell is going on? I mean, they have tanks, yes, but I should be able to stop them. However, they're just walking on me. I'm sorry, I'm genuinely curious of what the hell is going on the other side of the conflict. I switched to the other side of the equation to see what was so great about the units that simply just melted mine. Let's see, their infantry is much worse than ours. I haven't got much to say to their tanks. The funny thing is their tanks have less piercing than my trucks, but sure, they have insane breakthrough. Their knights are not bad, yes, but still worse than mine. Overall looking, I shouldn't be doing this bad. What is wrong with this now? Then I decide to check the ideal unit width again and decide the problem should be on the air. Funny thing is they have less available manpower than I do right now, but they are also in training, like they're training a lot of units. Holy hell, they actually have a lot of air units. My curiosity and anger got a hold of me at this point. Even on air, although they had more units than I did, we had green air at some sectors. So I decided to take some notes and structure a mathematical plan for the battle. This was the point of no return. This was the point of where the old Hearts of Iron 4 came up front. This time, I had all the data I needed. You can call it cheating, but I call it debugging. I decided to use my infantry only for defense, so I took off all the unnecessary soft attack units and just gave them pure organization and defense. My push were to happen only with mobile units, because they packed better breakthrough. So I popped their breakthrough and soft attack. But most importantly, I lowered the production cost of my fighters and made them more efficient to counter their air force. We have so much unnecessary loot on our hands. Let's clean out our armory so we can use that power to build more arms factories for better equipment. Let's put a few more planes up and then we'll be good to go. Oh wow, the Republic is still holding on these islands. And then, the time had come. Oh my god, I see a lot of red. Air is not even that bad. Just look at the center, impossible to stop them, what the hell is this? Air alone cannot be the problem, it is impossible to walk over me that easily, man. Okay, I think they stopped. If I can encircle this section, then I win an insane advantage, right? I should be winning an insane advantage. Let's try to push actually. Oh, looking very good now. And we're out of both man and equipment. Perfect, perfect. Well, at least we encircled their tanks. Wow, bro, what the hell is going on there? Did they really just commit some sort of suicide? Oh, god damn it. For a very long time, I did massive encirclements. I kept killing and killing and killing. I even took most of their generals as prisoners. However, nothing seemed to stop them. Yeah, I honestly don't understand what this is about. I keep running out of manpower, but they do not. They keep losing divisions left and right, but no prevail. And now they even have enough men to push. Wow, I'm done. I will see it another day. The next day, I did some small changes and went back in again. I think one of the reasons why I keep losing the air war is that my planes haven't got enough range, so I should probably build some airports up in the front. This time, there is no chance that we'd lose these guys. Okay, here we go. And to my surprise, literally nothing changed. No way. Just no goddamn way. 3,200 planes on air. 3,200. Look at the defense. Just look at that. These are pure infantry units, nothing else. Ja mein Gott, ist das verdammte Schwan? Willst mich verarschen? Of course, the pain and suffering didn't just end there. I tried again. Each time with a different strategy. At one point, I felt like an AI model being trained to play Hearts of Iron 4. This time my idea was that instead of just producing guns and infantry units, pour everything to the air. If I win the air war, then I could bomb the enemy troops and then just walk over them. Currently we have over 3,000 fighters attached. We will reach over 4,000 by the time of the first battle. Oh, and our fighters are about 3 to 4 times better than theirs in terms of attack and defense. But just before the war started, something caught my attention. Alter, warum? What the fuck are these planes doing down here? Why are they not attached to the fronts? We have tons of fucking airfields. Oh, we are losing the air battles. I wonder fucking why. Could it be because my whole air fleet is having a midday tea by the fucking sea? Okay, I'm calm. We're actually dominant in the air, which is good, And we got encircled.
Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why get up? Why keep fighting?
Why, Mr. Anderson, why? Look at these trash units. They're running over my troops. They are nowhere near the quality, and this time they don't even have air. What is this? What the f is going on? Can't believe this. I seriously can't. Today is an amazing day. Beautiful weather outside, and I'm just stuck here trying to kill some ponies by drawing arrows on a goddamn screen. Oh boy, I never felt more miserable. Okay, let's see. I need the most air attack and defense with the minimum thrust, so I have little production cost. 44, this should be good. Please be good. This time I plan to surprise them with a new toy. The problem is, piercing or heart attack was never a problem. But we will have half tracks. Mechanized that is better than motorized. Well, sometimes. We will take our time. We won't rush a war now. We will finish upgrading our equipment and recruit every single person on our lands to die in this battle. Wow, is this real? Now they even have a flank. This game, I swear to God. I don't care what they have anymore. It is either we win or I delete this game completely. Jawohl, Mann! A lot of good ponies were dead that year, like a lot. Oh, finally. Kingdom of whatever really thought they could get some land from this war. Brother, I will turn your whole nation into a living hell if you try to touch me after this war. Wow. Bloody hell, lads. I don't remember the last time I felt so angry at a video game. Especially a game where I play with ponies. This is embarrassing. But we did it. After all those tries, we finally did it. Cleanse the heart. I believe this will give us cores in all the states of Gryffindor. We will be the true ruler of Gryffindor. Right after the last bullet was fired, the sheriff went into the Griffonheim to see the capital with his very eyes. He saw that troops were destroying everything, the idols, the symbols, and the culture. Seeing this, the sheriff took a stance, and he called off the raiding, claiming they are much better than just bandits such as Robin Hood. The very sheriff that destroyed others' cultural heritage and claimed it as its own. But it was this sheriff, and not some noble, who took the city of Griffonheim. Therefore, he was the one true being on this land. No gods or idols, just Jean. And there it is, lads. We are the one true being on these lands. Everyone bow down to one, and his name is Jean. Alright, I don't know if there's any point on going further, honestly. I could go for a continental conquer, but I am just too done for the time being. This actually was an amazing experience, and special thanks to my friend Konezer for all of his help and guidance. I could go for a quick River Federation war and just make the map look cleaner, but like I said, I'm so done for now. And I apologize if I ruined the mod's actual lore or how it should have been played, I can clearly see a lot of effort was put into this mod, and this mod is amazing. The only thing is I am not much of a fan of reading when I play Hearts of Iron 4, which is the reason why I don't play TNO. I like reading game mechanics or seeing numbers, but the pure lore just bores me, so I really apologize for messing it up. But like I said, this was an amazing experience. As a matter of fact, it was such an experience, one can call it a trauma. As you can clearly see, even when I have the strongest army on the continent, I still cannot push into some true basic infantry. But yeah, I think that's it, and I'll call it a day for now.